You are listening to the Business Leadership Podcast with Edwin Frondozo.
Good morning. I'm Paul Newton, creative producer of the Future Narrator miniseries, and I'm joined by Edwin Frondozo, host of the Business Leadership Podcast. We are recording live at Web Summit Vancouver 2025, and we're exploring how today's leaders shape the future, not just through strategy, but through story. We believe that a strong point of view is what inspires communities, builds movements, and cuts through the noise in uncertain times. So let's dive into this conversation. Today's guest is building games that speak to the heart and championing the people who create them. Carina Kom is the co-founder and chief product officer at Simply Sweet Games, where she helps scale inclusive, emotionally resonant experiences designed to inspire and connect. With over 17 years of experience across indie and AAA studios, including EA and Microsoft, Carina brings bold vision, product vision, joyful leadership, and a deep commitment to equity in game development. Her mission? To help 1 million players learn 100,000 new words through games that reflect the diversity and richness of the world we live in. Originally from Johannesburg and now based in Vancouver, Carina is also an active community builder, supporting underrepresented talent, volunteering with nonprofits, and helping shape Canada's next generation of developers.
Welcome to the Business Leadership Podcast, Carina. How are you doing today?
What's up, Edwin? I'm doing well, thanks. It's overwhelming to be here at Web Summit, but it's fantastic to be here too.
Yeah, so tell me actually, now that you brought that up in terms of Web Summit Vancouver, first time it's here, what's been your key takeaways or the first thing that comes to mind day one?
Amazing question. You know, Vancouver has such a rich tapestry of talent here, but we're not branded very well. So with Web Summit coming here, I'm hoping that we're getting more traction, more visibility, and that we can peek behind the scenes to see who are the pioneers, who are the movers and shakers that are making our industry move forward here.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even for myself, just coming here and really learning with the community, and coming from Toronto, it's just so great to be here, and it's a beautiful city. So getting an opportunity to hang out here is amazing. Carina, can you tell us about Simply Sweet Games, the problem you are solving in inclusive and emotionally resonant game design?
Absolutely. So I'm going to do a quick plug here.
Yeah.
Simply Sweet Games is at the BC Pavilion today and tomorrow, so come check us out.
Okay.
This is an important mission for us because the problem that we're trying to solve is twofold. On the developer side, the first problem that we're trying to solve is that we know 75% of the puzzle genre demographic identifies women. And yet, less than 20%, roughly, of developers in Canada identifies women. So who are making these products for who?
That's right.
That's the first problem we're trying to solve.
Yeah.
And the second problem that we're trying to solve are around premium casual games or freemium casual games or any kind of handheld device game intended for women. We see that many of these games, these brain games, use exploitive ads and they use recycled mechanics. So we're here to change that narrative about who makes content, what kind of content, and for who.
Well, that's amazing. And, as you were talking about, the games, I think about my daughter now. I mean, she's slowly asking for games. She's almost 9 years old.
Okay.
And, and that's interesting. I never actually thought about who's making it for my daughter and what it's going to do this. And I guess one follow-up question to what you're saying is you said it's repeatable mechanics. What does that mean?
Recycled mechanics.
Yeah.
So when I look at the broader landscape of word games, I'm seeing many games using the same mechanic again and again and again. And it's designed that way. It's short bursts, but they don't change the mechanic very much. So players who engage with these kind of mechanics get hooked in and addicted very quickly. And without realizing it, they're spending hundreds to thousands of dollars in a game that exploits them with ads and really just takes the same formula and repeats it again and again.
I see. I got it. Thank you for clarifying that. As we were researching and looking into your background, Carina, and it's obvious that you have that experience when it comes to game design. We're curious what is your unique point of view other than that that you bring to solving this problem?
That's a great question. You have a daughter who's 9 years old. I was a 6-year-old who played Sega, and it never occurred to me who made games for who. I just got to enjoy my Lion King, my Aladdin, my Magic School Bus game. I really enjoyed that. And then when I entered the industry, it's a longer story. We'll go for beers later. We'll talk about it. It's a longer story. I entered the industry at 19 years old, and I've heard this from countless women, not just myself, but for me personally, 19 years old, entered the industry, and I was one woman out of 10. And if you can imagine being a 19-year-old entering the entertainment industry for the first time ever, being surrounded in this different culture that's not designed for me. It's not designed for me to be successful, because after hours, let's go to the strip club, or let's go do something that I'm not, it's not for me. So when you ask what gives me the unique perspective of who makes games for who and why, I'm a woman with my co-founder, who's also a woman. We've experienced adversity on multiple layers. My partner, Tina Mary, is an industry leader with over 20 years of experience in the gaming industry. When she entered the industry, she was 40 years old and immediately went through the same, I don't really want to call it boys club, but it kind of is a boys club. I hope that doesn't make you uncomfortable, but that is the reality of what we're going through. She went through a different story, feeling ageism, right? We don't think of a 40-year-old woman making games for us. We think of maybe a cool 20-year-old executive man with a sports car. So because of our unique perspective, having faced adversity, we know what it takes to build a resilient team and a resilient mindset. And that's the kind of unique proposition that we bring to our audiences.
And so then, you talked about the recycled mechanics and like getting hooked on these games. Like, what should a game do?
Well, we craft joyfully, craft experiences, premium experiences that make you think, make you fall in love with language and vocabulary. We want you to play this kind of game with your son or daughter, niece, nephew, grandkids even. This is the kind of game where you should feel guilt-free as you play it. Those are the kind of experiences that I am seeking myself personally. I know that millions of other players are looking for it as well. I'm looking for games that really spark joy in a meaningful way.
And so if games right now are like addictive, then what's a joyful or better model?
Great question. I'm so glad you asked that, Paul. So we can unpackage this, but in a nutshell, how we monetize our games at Simply Sweet Games is a little different. We're taking an unconventional approach to how we monetize games. Also, how we've designed the games in terms of play session is a little different from the average game. So we design games to fit into your schedule. We want to meet you where you are at when you pick up a game. It shouldn't feel hard for you to put the game down, but you should feel like you want to come in and have a productive, positive experience every single time, and maybe change or alter your behavior in a positive way.
And how are you gauging these positive experiences? Like, what's a measurement of that the experience has been positive?
Also a great question. I love these. It's excellent. So we're gauging it. Currently, we're still in closed alpha. So for context, how we're gauging it now, twofold. It is qualitative. So I'm here at Web Summit at a booth. I'm engaging with our players, and I'm asking them questions, not loaded questions, but asking them questions. How does this make you feel? Who is this for? How much would you possibly pay to convert into the full unlocked game? These kind of questions help me understand like what is really important to a player. So we look at the qualitative, and so far I've heard statements such as, "I could see my 7-year-old sister playing this game." One. My aunt and I played Wordle every single day during the COVID, and I could see us playing this game together. Or my best friend and I played Scrabble every day until I finally won, and then I quit. I can see myself playing this game with her. And, we have a long-distance friendship, so this is the kind of experience I'm looking for. So that's the qualitative. In the quantitative, behind the scenes of our game, whenever a developer ships a game to like a mobile device, we actually get back-end analytics that help us to understand how much time is being spent in the game, how often the player picks up and enjoys the game, and we're reviewing these analytics daily to understand, like, are we hitting the right mark in terms of, engagement? And then, doing a lot of surveys and polls to help us get more quantitative feedback around how often should we help you to improve your vocabulary? How often would you pick up this game? If we had a daily or a weekly event, as an example.
And so I've tried to learn words and language and things, I'm sure, through the various apps. And I recently dropped a streak of God knows how many days because I was getting I don't think I was advancing. And I was just trying to keep up with, I guess, the algorithm or what have you. And this isn't doing anything for me. And they got me hooked. I mean, what would it look like if I kept on progressing and just was enjoying, learning my, not 100,000 words, I guess, because I'd be like, wow, fluent in a new language and probably a scholar. But
well, fun fact, the average adult knows about 50,000 words. So by increasing it to 100,000, we're just doubling your active vocabulary, which I think is totally possible for you, Paul.
Is it the same language?
For the same
oh,
language,
okay, yeah.
If you speak multiple languages, though, you must know tons of words.
I need your app.
Yeah.
I need to improve my.
You heard it first here at this podcast.
Yeah, English is hard. Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked. In our game, we're using an inclusive design principle that allows us to adapt to the player. So as I'm retrieving backend analytics about you, and I understand your needs, and let's put this on the table. It's not the sensitive data that I'm collecting. I'm not trying to understand if you're male or female or age. I'm just curious about your mind and how you interpret language. So I'm interpreting and analyzing all the words that you are creating with me in our game and ecosystem, and I'm adapting the game to meet you where you're at. So in theory, if you would play this game for 1,000 days in a row, the game would feel different every single time.
And so then the repetitive or the mechanics that you get hooked on, what's not the opposite of that, but like if you're not hooked, what are you? If it's not addictive, then what's the, I guess, an addiction, like you have a healthy habit or you have even you're becoming part of someone's a practice. Yeah. Like
a practice sounds like a good approach.
Yeah.
I'm going to lift that. I was, it was just part of the unpackaging the problem is, learning doesn't have to be, boring. Right? Brain games can be really fun. But I think about going to school every day. It's a practice as well to help educate, and it can be really fun as well. It can be social, it can be fun. So we're not trying to create addictive behaviors. We're looking for this practice of change behavior in a positive direction.
Yeah, I like that.
And in our game, it really is fundamental for us to tell a story. So you're not just coming here to play a game. You're coming here to be the hero who's using her spell casting to help restore literacy to this world.
So, I mean, you told us about entering the world of production at 19 and just and joining getting into this boys club and going, oh, but what is it about you that makes you get somewhere and say, I want to change this?
Right. Well, I'm not the only woman who feels this way, being, the underrepresented in a room, not having our voices heard, ageism, things like that. It's really about how we show up as leaders. My business partner and I are very careful about who we hire so that the games that we make are a reflection of our team. So as leaders, we have this enormous responsibility. And I think it's more of a calling to change the narrative because I've been there. I've been the 19-year-old where the CEO comes and puts his hand on my knee or, puts his hand on my waist. And I fundamentally don't agree with this. Think about your own daughters or nieces. no one wants to see that happen to their
Yeah.
their loved one. So having gone through that and still standing, I have a lot more confidence now to kind of pave the way and show off that gaming and the entertainment industry as a whole in the creative sector can be a safe space. And so by showing up as a leader in that way, we can start to hire people who understand this mission and align with our vision to change the narrative of the gaming industry, which has so far been burnout and layoffs and not a very psychologically safe environment. We can really do this.
And then the exploitive ads, like what's the kind of ad that would show up in a perfect world?
Oh, I haven't really thought about that. We don't use ads in our games.
Okay.
So I haven't really thought about that. We chose to not include ads in our game so that you can just focus on having fun and storytelling and learning without the distraction. I don't know if there was the perfect ad. Maybe it would be an ad that's catered to the player. But I really can't comment on that.
Okay. And what's been your inspiration to grow?
Oh, well, I love storytelling and I love digital interactive media. The community has been incredible. Finding the right group of people understand that this is not a money grab. This is something that is cultural, that can change lives. It can be as good as you want it to be. Right? We don't have to exploit people into spending thousands of dollars in a game. You could pay the price of a coffee and enjoy this game for the rest of your life until the next one comes out, right? So I truly do believe that we have what it takes to change the narrative. It might be slow work, but as long as we keep going, then it's all good.
And what becomes possible for women everywhere and people like game players everywhere when your mission becomes just widespread? It's everywhere.
Oh, well, representation begets representation. Right now, as women, we're in the toughest funding climate and economic climate ever. There's a study that's gone out by Wells Fargo and JP Morgan have revealed that in the VC climate, only 2.3% of women founders are receiving funding, and yet these female founders are producing 2 times the return on investment than their male counterparts. In the gaming industry, it's about 12% who are receiving the funding. So when I think about these metrics of, women receive so little, but we are able to generate almost twice the amount of revenue. In the perfect world, once we've solved this forever problem, because it's not going to go away tomorrow or even next year, it'll be a forever problem. We will have achieved a perfect utopia where everybody has equal access to funding opportunities, and we're able to create psychologically safe environments where it's okay to talk about your kids at work, and it's okay to even cry at work if that's how you feel that day, and someone will be there to support you.
Well, this is so necessary now in these times of uncertainty, and where everybody's probably kind of wanting to cry a little at work, and making that okay and more open sounds like just a perfect future to create.
Absolutely. We should all lean into that.
Carina, I mean, it's before I let you go, I got one question, and first off, a comment. I mean, it's really, I've been doing the Business Leadership Podcast almost 8 years, and it's really refreshing in terms of who you are and what you're bringing to this industry, and really being this purpose-driven in terms of leadership. You are like one of the reasons why I do this. I always told my wife, I always wanted to show my daughter there's other things that are out there. So I just want to share that with you. I guess before that, any final thoughts, advice, recommendations? You could take this wherever you want, to either the founders, the CEOs, or the business leaders who might be listening today.
Right. For the founders out there, right now we need resilience. This is the time to rally together and bring each other up at the same time. We're past the stages where we need to be competitive. We need to be shared in camaraderie at this stage. Any company sort of stands in any company that is doing under 50 million in revenue, you need to help out everybody in this ecosystem. And if you're doing more than 50 million in revenue, then you need to help out in this climate.
And so thank you for joining us on the Business Leadership Podcast.
Thank you so much. Honor.
You are listening to the Business Leadership Podcast with Edwin Frondozo.